Well, good morning, my beautiful, gorgeous, amazing people, beautiful souls that you are. I'm really happy, and it's close to the full moon, so my little girly side is gonna come out a little bit more. So I think maybe Dark Pancho will come up, but maybe not. I'm really happy that some of you have been able to see my videos and these last few videos that I've put out, and this is something that I kept. Basically, that side of me I've never brought out because I was shamed into put it away. See, I've always been this way, but it was stifled by the people around me that made me feel shameful about it, like my feminine side. So imagine, I couldn't show my masculine side, I couldn't show my feminine side, I couldn't show any of my natural traits. This is why I make these videos, because in this society we have been trained to just put away all that stuff as if that stuff doesn't matter, and that stuff, that's useless stuff that they call useless, that is your contribution to the world. This is why you came onto this plane. So whatever talent you have, whatever quirk you demonstrate, is there for a reason, and it's probably the real you trying to emerge, and the real you trying to follow its mission, do what it's meant to do. Again, I'm gathering all my stuff. I woke up this morning and my brain just started, okay, let's go, and this is what you're going to say in the next video, and it just started feeding me all this information. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm done sleeping. And I got up, but I got up really happy, really, like with a spring. I'm not getting paid for this, because as you see, I mean, I don't have no plaque that says 100,000 subscribers. This is literally an act of love, and I say an act of love because I heard that before, but in essence, this is my mission. To be a speaker, to use my talents and use my platform, and use them to contribute to this planet, to improve it, to make it better. Not by forcing it to be my way, no. This is just my little stroke into this big painting that it is, this big canvas that it is life. We all get a chance to do a few strokes to make it beautiful. And this is why I get so frustrated with people who don't know that, ignore that, or choose to ignore that, and in fact make fun of those people who actually have a clear mission, a clear focus on what they need to be doing. So in essence, it's something that is sacred, and for people to make fun of it, for people to tell their loved ones, put it away, we don't want to hear that, or put it away because you're not supposed to do that. It just reminded me of this beautiful I think the channel is called Birth of Venus Tarot, and she was sharing her story, part of her story, that she had been, I'm not gonna tell you everything, but she had trauma. Her inner child had been traumatized, so she ended up getting together with this guy who, he took the place of a father, because that's how it works. And this man abused her for over 25 years. If you mistreat your child, all you're doing is training your child to be mistreated, to just take it. It is heartbreaking to see a child who has been traumatized. It is so hard to see a child sitting still and being this little tiny adult, no longer being able to play because the parents don't want to parent. The parents don't want to deal with a child who has fun, who plays, who demonstrates their true traits, because they don't know how to handle it. They don't know, but they don't want to learn. They just want to make the child put it away. Don't do that. It is amazing to me in my neighborhood to see how many children, how many adults are afraid of dogs, terrified of dogs. One time, a few nights ago, I took Baba for a walk because that's what we do. And my Baba is such a beautiful soul. I call him my Jesus dog because he wants to make friends with everybody. Every time he sees some bum, he wants to go and meet him. It's like, dude, I'm trying to stay away from these people. And I call them bums because, again, these are the people who check out, not homeless. I mean, they become homeless because they check out and all they want to do is just do drugs all day, you know. I mean, it is such a sad picture to see some dude in the middle, you know, at some corner like this, because, you know, they just got high. And that's what they do. In Mexico, we have homeless, and these homeless people actually, because they need money, they'll actually render a service or put on a show or sing. Even if they're blind or they're missing arms and legs, they're out there providing a service so they can get some money. They're not just saying, gimme. And these people are in real need. These people need to eat. Not like these people that just need to buy their next fix. See, that's the difference. And that's another thing that is not a judgmental outlook, is the fact that my intuition constantly is always alerting me, telling me these things. This is how I can decipher who is evil and who is not, because of my intuition. And for the longest time, I ignored it. No, you're crazy. You shouldn't think that way. You shouldn't judge people. But it wasn't judgment. It was my intuition letting me know. And then when I find out the truth, I'm like, you didn't listen again. So I'm done ignoring those things, because again, this society makes you do that. It makes you ignore your gut feeling, your intuition, and then you run into problems. You're like, man, I knew this was gonna happen. But you second guess your intuition, you second guess yourself. So going back to children, to raise a children with yelling, with insults, with mistreatment, with forcing them to put away their natural traits, to treat them like they're your little slaves. All you're doing is training your children to be slaves for other people. This is what's wrong with Donald Trump. He was raised under these conditions, so that's what he does. And why does he kiss up to a bunch of dictators? Because they remind him of daddy. They're daddy to him, and he treats them like that. By the way, nobody has brought this up. You know Jeffrey Epstein, that sicko who had a plane and was making, basically, this is human trafficking. That's a real human trafficking. I don't know. I mean, I know that maybe cartels are doing it, but this is another, racist argument that is the cartels that are trafficking in human beings and stuff, and maybe they do, but a lot of it is just because they're brown, they're Mexican, so they gotta be blamed with something, and maybe they do, because there's a lot of messed up people in the world, but a lot of it is just stuff that racist people say, like Chinese people eating cats and dogs, and Haitians doing the same. That these people in Ohio, they're legal residents of the United States. They're here on a what's it called? Not a visa, but they're refugees basically. It's crazy in Haiti, So these people just want peace, and they come here to make a good living, and they're all being qualified as illegal. And again, these are not illegal people. but these are racist people who are saying that, you know. These are the same people who has for ages have told us to put our natural traits away. I mean, they want to take down women, they want to take down people in the LGBTQ community, they demonize trans people, you know, they demonize teachers. And why? Because they have grabbed onto all these sacred symbols, you know, and say, oh, I'm right because look, God is behind me, like God is with me. It's like, no, not while you're acting so horrible. That's not God's way. But for all of our history, these types have been able to change the story that, you know, God is wrathful, that God will punish you. And really they just said that because this would explain the atrocities that they committed throughout all of the times. I used to be John the Baptist. Yeah, that's one of my my lifetimes. And if I wasn't, maybe I was someone just like him. I was punished for speaking up. And during this lifetime, I've been punished many times for speaking up. I mentioned, you know, what happened with my family, my birth family. I was punished for speaking up. I was the one who called out my own father because, you know, you see the atrocities he's committing, and it's like, no. Again, I've always been this way. The fire comes out of me, and it's like, no, that's wrong. I used to tell my mom, you have to leave him. You have to leave him. I mean, he's always insulted her, beat that shit out of her, mistreated us. What is, you know, I'm not gonna just sit there and be like, oh yeah, mom, keep taking more beatings, let him mistreat you. No, women to me are precious because I am a divine feminine. It is what it is. But see, the society would say, oh, what you saying? Yeah, because I'm a spirit first. Beyond being a human being, I am a spirit first. This robot, this meat and skin robot cyborg is being driven by my spirit. You know, you remember, like, back in, I used to imagine that there was a little man inside my head, and out of my eyes, you could see everything, you know. Why do those thoughts come into mind? Well, because it's a simple way to see that your spirit is looking out of your eyes. It's inside of you. And, you know, everything is happening, and, you know, that presence is inside and is noticing everything. And I noticed how my dad used to abuse my mom, and I wasn't gonna sit there and just be like, no, it's okay, everything, you know, it's okay because it's dad. No, I called him out. You know, when I did, he demonized me, he trashed me, because that's when I ended up leaving, because, you know, I met this other psychopath too, you know. Again, when psychopaths raise psychopaths, when I'm not a psychopath. When psychopaths raise children, they're training their children to be attracted to more psychopaths. See what I'm saying? And sometimes they do turn into psychopaths. But like I said before, use your intuition so you can decipher if I am on the level. You will notice that you like my talks because I speak to you with honesty, with the truth, and because I'm a light worker. That's what I do. I bring the light to everything, to situations, to places, even to people. You know, I bring the light, and that's all there is to it. Just like all the other light workers. Again, I'm not saying I'm the only one and you have to listen to me, because we all have a chance to do a few strokes in this beautiful canvas that is life. So in my contribution, I'm telling you that I've been doing this for lifetimes, and I was John the Baptist, and I was punished for speaking up. Back a few years back, I used to speak about these things too, And I had this vision of myself being John the Baptist, just screaming in the middle of the desert, but nobody was listening. And it was. And now you beautiful people are listening, and you give me purpose. Excuse me. Again, that girly side is coming out again. But in essence, because of my purpose, my mission is to always speak up and always tell the truth. Because I would feel disgusting if I lied to you, if I swayed you the wrong way. It would remind me of my father. You see what I'm saying? So, my talks are not to rile you up, especially in the last few ones that you saw me so furious. But it's the same fury that John the Baptist used. It's just me. It's just that fire coming out of me. And I've noticed that because, I have to look at my videos, to edit them and whatnot, or to just post them. And I'm looking at the screen, I'm like, oh my God, that's me? Look at my eyes. My God, I look like a freaking lion. See, like, this is surprising me too. But once I get going, Pancho, the personality or the ego is not even around, and it's just me and taking place and acting on taking place on this spot that I am, on this platform that I have, and just serve my purpose. And it's just it just takes me. Again, this morning I woke up with a spring up and I'm just ready to go. I'm gathering my things and I'm like, you don't do this when you audition for parts. You don't do this for your acting career. You're not as excited. You're not as you're getting. There's a possibility to make a lot of money when you get booked in a show or in a movie. But I'm just like, okay, because auditioning is a pain in the ass. Because when you have a big name, they don't audition you. They just send you the parts. And I'm like, just give me the parts. I mean, eventually that's what's gonna happen. So why are you putting me through this? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, but it tells you the difference between what it's your purpose and what you do for money. I always thought that I just wanted to be an actor, and this has been pulling me to this, and I'm so excited to be doing this work that I'm gathering my things, and I'm so excited, and I'm just I used to wait until the later times. I'm like, no, I need to exercise and stretch first. I need to get in tune with myself. But if you're serving your mission, it's the same thing. You're developing grounding by exercising your purpose, because that's your spirit at work. And for the last few days, I get to about 2 o'clock in the morning when I've finally done with everything I've eaten, and I'm getting ready to go to bed. I'm like, I was busy all day and I'm not even tired. There I go again. That's what happens when you're serving your purpose. You have an endless energy. And where does that come from? It's your spirit. It's your fire. I made a video in the past called You're a Walking Pyramid. And I think I posted it on TikTok. Nothing. Nobody gave a shit about that video. But it's the truth. You're a walking pyramid. Pyramid means fire in the middle. Just hyphenate those words. Pyramid. Para of pyro, mid of middle. Fire in the middle. Where does your spirit run along? The middle of your spine, basically. The middle of you. You're a walking pyramid. And when you know that you have fire within you, you want to exercise it. You want to make it grow. And you definitely don't want anybody stifling your fire. your spirit. And then this leads me to another thing, that when you end up with psychopaths and when you end up with the wrong people, they could suck all of that fire out of you. I married a little succubus. First of all, there was one thing that was always prevalent, because she always went to sleep first. I've always been a night owl, and I like to stay up a little bit more. And usually, and now that I could look back, it's like that was the only time that I could be peaceful without anybody's input, like psychopath. And every time I would enter the bedroom, it stunk. There was a stench, a horrible, horrible stench. And I looking into the situation, talking to a few witches that I know, they told me that's evil. That's the smell of evil. That's the smell of works, when people are doing works on you, jobs on you, And yeah, it always stunk. And I thought, it's just bad breath, right? But no. Turns out I was with somebody who was really evil. But again, I thought that was love. I thought that I loved her because I felt just like I felt. I felt the same thing that I felt for my father. It was, and because I'm a divine feminine, and she had a really masculine energy, I just thought, okay, this is it. I click here, But she was abusive, when Johnny Depp got into his deal with his problems with Turd, what's her name? Amber Turd. I call her that because she is just like my ex, a psychopath, someone who uses femininity as a weapon, uses sex as a weapon, uses her fragility of being this defenseless little woman, that this horrible, bum-looking, Mexican-looking, Native American-looking, horrible men did to her. And it wasn't like that, because as I heard, Johnny speak, and it was like, she hit me, and I was like, oh my Lord. I knew that he was telling the truth, because I had been there, and I was backing him up, and a lot of you also backed him up. But then I also found out that a lot of women were against him, because he's an abuser. It's like, but that you don't even know. You don't know that really happens, that you as a man can be abused by a woman. And this usually happens when the man has a gentle soul, has maybe some features of divine femininity, And when you find a woman who's just looked out like Amber Turd was, how she used. I didn't hit you. I didn't punch you. I didn't hit you. I just slapped you. It's like, this is the kind of fights that you end up getting into. And when he said, that you'll never see my eyes again, that's exactly what I did too. And it's just so funny that that we think the same way. Abused men, this is how we think, that it's like, I'm precious, and I'm not gonna let anybody just abuse me. And if you're gonna treat me like that, then you know what? You're not even deserving. You're not worthy of being near me. You're not worthy of even touching me. So that stuff gets cut off. You don't necessarily. So I'm telling you, these little things that sometimes we people do, that not one night stands and trying to get in the pants of somebody else, be very careful, because you're dealing with your fire, you're dealing with your spirit. You could actually end up getting latched on with people who will suck the life out of you, people who will enjoy just siphoning your life force. Okay, they will kill you. I was literally being killed slowly, not just because of the sex situation, because it was none. She was controlling me with the absence of it, But because she had given me a taste, and I was kept there, you know, because again, I didn't know any better. I had a very low self-esteem, and whenever I see, because I'm not an ugly person, but whenever I see a beautiful person, especially a beautiful girl with a really low self-esteem, it breaks my heart too. It's like seeing a child who has been traumatized too, because it's like they fucked with your head too, didn't they? And it really breaks my heart, because you see a gorgeous person with no self-esteem, and you know that people got to her. People mess with that poor little soul. That's why I make these videos, because that is more important. What's happening within you. And if you notice, this whole society absolutely puts no effort or no focus into what happens inside you, right? So I'm telling you that is important, and I'm here to tell you that I care for you, because I care for what's happening inside you. So this is why I tell you what I tell you. Oh my God. I'm like triggering tears. I think I need to have a good cry because it just keeps, you know, you start feeling that sting in your upper nose. You're like, wait a second, I'm getting a ball like. But you can sense that I'm literally imploring you. Please be good to yourself. Please pay attention to what's happening inside you, because whatever people did to you in the past, whatever abuse you went through, you didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve that. Because you're God's kid. And you were just staying with these people. These were the people who, let's say you went to another country, you know, as an exchange student, because you are. And you had to stay with this family. And this family weren't good. They didn't know how you like to be treated. They didn't know that they had a divine person with them. They didn't know they had a really good spirit hanging out with them. So they mistreated you. So you know, this is why I'm so strong in the belief that Jesus was punished and crucified because people didn't get him. They didn't know how to treat him. And also because these sadistic bastards that were in control twisted everything that he was saying. You know? Does that sound familiar? Yeah, because it's still happening. So when I speak against Christianity, it is not because I hate Christianity. I hate what happened to Christianity because it was twisted. Like now you see people trying to ban books and get rid of books, and obviously they're going to end up burning these books that they ended up taking from the libraries. Well, this is exactly what happened in those days. The burning of all the ancient books in Alexandria. I mean, Alexandria held all of our ancient knowledge. Why was it burnt? Because they want you misinformed. They don't want you to know that you're really powerful, that all you need is your spirit, that all you need is love. Really. And that phrase can sound ridiculous for these types. I was laughed at in my own family, both families, for saying things like that, for saying please respect animals. Because I know in the last few videos I said something about, you know, a lot of things about being animalistic and stuff like that. Well, you know, hyenas are animals too. I don't like hyenas. I hate hyenas. Because of their nature, you know. I saw a bunch of hyenas, you know, just jump on a poor lioness. And you should have seen this poor little creature. She was so helpless. She was so scared. And the humans who were filming this are just filming it, right? They're not getting involved. And this lioness literally looked at the people like, "Help me." Thank God that the other lionesses showed up, and then the big boss showed up, you know. And what he did? He smelled the leader, and went after the leader and killed the leader. and then the other hyenas scattered. And he was like, "Not here, not today, Satan." Love that. All right, And again, I want to remind you that you're all lions. When you put your faith in your spirit and its strength, its power, you become a lion. So, just like Dave Chappelle said once, and I know there's been a lot of rhetoric about Chappelle being against trans people. That's not true. He's an educated kid. His mother educated him. He has a good heart and a good mind, and what he says is the truth. But he doesn't hate trans people. He's said it many, many times. He supports the downtrodden. He supports those who are being kicked down. So that's why I like him, and because it's hilarious, and he has a lot of great observations. Just like Chris Rock back in the day when he said that they should make bullets $5,000 each, so this way nobody goes on a shooting rampage. Makes sense, right? Make that shit expensive so these hideous monsters don't get access to it so easily, So what Dave Chappelle said that his mother told him, that's because he explained, because this is what his mother taught him. I think his mother was a teacher of African American studies. I mean, educated people, it's wonderful. She said to him that, well, because his nature is to be peaceful. He said that he doesn't like to fight, he would cry if somebody would hit him, he would cry if somebody insulted him. But his mama told him, I'm going to try not to cry. He said, "Baby, you have to learn to be a lion so you can be the lamb that you are." That's me. I'm not going to say I'm a really nice person, but I'm a kind soul. I don't want to hurt anybody. That's not in my makeup. So I have to be a lion so I can be the lamb that I am. You know what I mean? And I'm asking you all, when it's time to turn it on and never be shameful of it. Let your spirit speak. Let your spirit show that fire. Because you know what? John the Baptist healed with water, and then his cousin Jesus healed with the Spirit. I'm bringing the fire. See you next time.